of course, he's now checking his name in the register to see if he's there. Of course, from there he's going to be moving to the ink section where his finger will be inked, and then he'll go on, collect his ballot paper, and then cast his vote. He arrived here at around 1 o'clock, and he went straight to join the queue. I think it was about 16 or so people in front of him, and he went straight to join the queue. Of course, now some other people have now joined that queue. Fortunately, when he arrived here at 1 o'clock, the queue had already petered down a little, so he didn't have to wait a lot. But of course, he did quite some waiting, because there was a few people in front of him. Now, as you can see, he's getting his finger inked, and then going to showing his ID, and then going to collect his ballot box. He'll then collect his ballot paper. He'll then collect his ballot paper, and then go straight to cast his vote. He's been summed by a whole lot of people. Of course, he's also the EFF provincial leadership is here, his bodyguard. He's also with his wife, as you said, Manto Malema is here. She's now, as I'm speaking to you, casting her vote while Malema is collecting his ballot paper. As we said, he's been accompanied by a few people. Joseph Butane, who is the part of the leadership in the province. There you go. You can see him, the leader of the AFF, Julius Malema. He's now casting his vote. His vote is a secret. The cameras are on him, nevertheless. And from there, he's going to move on to just drop it inside that a ballot box, and then he will be done. Of course, I think we're going to have a moment with him. We're going to have an interview with him and see, just to know how he feels after casting his vote. This is where he comes from. This is where he was born. This is where he grew up. And of course, for him, is home. As he said to us like a few weeks back, he said coming home to vote, coming home to campaign or to canvass for a vote is for him moral and procedural. So this is what he's doing. He has always been doing this, just like many leaders of other political parties who vote, who cast their vote where they live or where they have registered. There you go. As you can see, he's casting his last a vote here, putting that this is the ward. This is Ward 13, which is a ward which is under the EFF. It was won by the EFF in 2016. Now the ANC has been canvassing here, trying to lure voters, trying to cajole voters into voting for them, trying to win it back. The president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, was here saying he's very optimistic that the ANC will win back what it had lost during the 2016 government elections. So the goal of the ANC was to win this back. This is, for me, safe to say, the most hotly contested ward, given that it is now the ANC and the EFF fighting. As we saw, there is no, we don't see DA campaigning here, and we don't see any independent candidates campaigning. So let's see what he has to say now.
Everybody coming out. So just identify yourself, where you're from, and ask your question, please.
I'm Hahari from Newsroom Africa. CIC, 27%, 45%. Last in this particular ward, 51%. In 2016, you spent the day yesterday crisscrossing Seshego. Are you confident at your home town that where you've been canvassing that you've done well?
Well, we're going to get 65% in the whole of Polokwane, the whole of South Africa. We are aiming for a decisive victory, and we have done everything humanly possible, and we've been to all corners of South Africa, and we're happy that our people have received our message. The leadership of the EFF was on the ground, and members at the ground forces of the EFF were on the ground. And we think that South Africans have heard the message of the EFF and they received it very well. And we can only hope for the best. It's now in the hands of South Africans. The youth of South Africa must come out in their numbers because this has got to do with them. This is about the future. This is about investing in the infrastructure and service delivery in our own localities. And the youth must be in the forefront of such fight. So I hope that wherever young people are readying themselves to make sure that we close on a high note. I'm happy with the turnout of old people, and we need the youth to come out in their numbers.
Mashudu Sabike, Pretoria News. What did you do differently this time?
We are having structures all over South Africa, branches of the EFF properly constituted. We have candidates of the EFF chosen by the branches of the EFF in very peaceful meetings, and therefore we have managed to cover the ground we have not covered in 2014, 2016 and 2019. So that's what gives us confidence.
Again, I see in 2016 the issue was the low turnout vote, the voter turnout, of course, was quite low, even in this ward, 57%.
Yes.
But I'm sure in your words over the last 5 years or so, have you seen a significant improvement in the interest of politics by young people?
At some point I thought there was apathy, but the rallies of the EFF have actually changed my perception with regard to voter apathy amongst young people. I think the youth is highly interested and they are going to come out in their numbers. I think they've now realized that they cannot leave it in the hands of their parents only. They too have to take an active part if they want to see changes. So I think there is no youth apathy. I think the youth are more interested and we're going to get them.
There was an altercation just now as you were standing in line.
Yes.
When some of your supporters were singing. Do you have any comment?
No, there was no altercation. The guy said they can't sing inside the voting station, and he was correct. You can't sing inside the voting station. So that's why they quickly kept quiet and they moved away. So when a person goes crazy alone, it can't be called an altercation, because an altercation must involve more than one person. So I'm not going to so so no one fought with anyone or exchanged anything with anyone. When the point was raised, we received it well. People were excited to see their leadership, and when the point was raised, we accepted it, and we were able. The provincial chairperson spoke to them, and they peacefully left because they don't want any altercation. Altercations are for losers. When you win, you don't disrupt your victory. You just peacefully engage in a battle that you know you've already won. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nompu. If you are still with me, you just heard what he said. He's talking about the voters turnout here, and of course, he said he's happy with the turnout of the elderly people. As we said earlier, it was a mixture of different ages. It was young people, old people, and of course, we saw many old people coming in. You know, some were just staggering in, you know, with their sticks, coming to cast their vote. This is what he was saying. But he's also, again, happy that some of young people are coming through to vote down here. He talked about their goal. He talked about trying to win. Trying to garner more votes. He talked about over 60% across South Africa. He also talked about a bit of commotion that happened here when some of his supporters were singing songs of praise for him, waxing lyrically about him, and then there was a member of the other party who came in and wanted to start a fight with those people. But of course, that wave died down, and those people just left.